Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to today's very special live interview. Normally when I do these, it's just me over here and somebody else over there. But today I've actually got Martin with me. I've come down to Invictus. How you doing, Martin?
Yeah, good.
Good to see you, mate.
And you?
We were here last night, or I was here last night working out. Martin was taking a class in the spot where I'm stood right now. And this is your gym, right?
It is indeed, yeah.
How long have you had the gym for?
So we opened in July, after a lot of pressure from the council to get it through, planning. Yeah, it was hard work, wasn't it? As you know.
So it's just a few months, really. It's not been open that long.
Yeah, no.
And I've trained in lots of places in my life, and this is an absolutely stunning environment. You've done a really cracking job. And some of you from On The Wagon might remember a couple of months ago, I popped a post up saying that I was thinking about doing a 1,000 burpee challenge or later on the next week. And Martin saw this, and he just said, "Well, come down to Invictus, I'll do it with you." I was thinking, yeah, whatever. Oh, we'll come down, we'll do it together. I wasn't even that committed. I wasn't convinced that I was going to be able to do 1,000 burpees. I had no idea that we were going to make it. But what was it that, when you saw that, what was it that made you think, that sounds like a good idea?
Caught me on a bad day. No, yeah, you've got to take a challenge, haven't you?
Well, there's taking a challenge and there's taking a challenge. I mean, that took us almost 2 hours to do that. It was never going to be an easy
1 hour
thing.
47.
1 hour 47,
1 hour
yes.
47.
Yes, not quite 2 hours.
Yeah.
But once I think most of us can probably relate to doing that at some stage, not with 1,000 burpees necessarily, but say, yes, I'll do that, whether it's I'll run a 5K or a marathon, or I'll do Endure 24, or I'll do whatever big challenge. You say it on the spur of the moment, and then the reality kind of sinks in. And it did for me.
Regret it for hours.
Because I put it in there, and it's like, I'm going to try this. Doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. But when you said you were going to do it as well, it's like we were going to do it. Like, we had to make this thing happen.
No turning back.
So did you kind of have any sort of buyer's remorse afterwards, where you'd said it and think, "Oh my God, I wish I hadn't said that"?
Generally got it after the first 100 burpees.
Oh right, okay.
Up until we started, I was all right. But then, the first 100 were hard, weren't they?
And it was tough. I mean, we kind of discussed how we were going to break it down. We did it literally just over there at the end of the gym. You can see just about see the green area at the back there. And someone commented about the burpees. One of the things I noticed afterwards was I had like completely bald knees. Yeah. Because the type of burpees we were doing, I've come in my shirt and you've got your jeans on, so we're not going to demonstrate burpees today. But the kind of burpees we were doing is you go down and you go flat to the ground. So it's not just hands down, jump back and jump in. So we're going flat to the ground and jumping with arms up overhead. And what that meant was I had never done 1,000 burpees before like this. Was that the friction of the matting on the knees meant that it was just wearing away.
We started without the mat, didn't we?
We started without the mat, and it pretty soon became like,
got a mat.
we're going to need some mats here. But so it kind of, that made it even harder, right? Because it wasn't just, we were adding bits into it as well. So what was interesting with the way it panned out over that course of 1 hour 47 minutes was that we started off very evenly paced. I then started to pull ahead, and at that point I was thinking, maybe Martin will make it a 500. These are kind of the things that I was thinking through my mind. I was really glad of the company. I was thinking, I'm going to be doing the second half of this together. You were starting to struggle, about a third of the way through, right? A couple 100, 300 burpees in.
That's mind, isn't it? You start getting little niggles everywhere. My knee was hurting, my elbow was hurting, everything was hurting. I was thinking, I can't do this.
So what was it that you were saying in your mind at that point there?
You talk yourself out of it, don't you?
Okay.
Things like that. It's the same when I was boxing. I used to always talk myself out of it before a fight. As soon as you're in there, you get yourself through it. It was very similar with the burpees. I thought it was. Once you start getting through that barrier with the running as well, same thing, isn't it? I always struggled with the first 5K, and after that, I'm generally all right.
So do you tell yourself that, like when you were starting to struggle, because like, spoiler alert, he got to 1,000 and actually streamed ahead of me towards the end. Like you were fighting. Well, we were doing them in blocks of like 10, and you were finishing your 10 like 10 seconds faster than I was, and so we kept more or less the pace. But what was interesting was that you'd gone through this kind of struggly bit about a third of the way in, and then you found this second wind and you just accelerated. So what did you know when you were starting to have those thoughts of, my goodness, this is really hard, that you would come out the other side? You just had to keep going?
Yeah, I think I've been training different aspects all my life, so you sort of recognise it, don't you? One of my biggest things is injuries. I've always struggled with injuries.
Okay.
So when I do things, I start getting niggles.
Okay.
And I start worrying. you know, oh, my knees going, or my ankles going, my elbows going, you know. But as soon as you get through it, it's your body warming up, always fine. But it takes a while to recognise it.
Yeah, I think this is really, I mean, I'm fascinated by what we say to ourselves and that kind of inner voice. And being able to recognise that those things that you're saying to yourself about how, oh my goodness, you know, I'm not going to make it to the end, like my knees hurt, my elbow's hurting, I'm going to struggle here. To recognise that as a part of the process, it takes an incredible level of self-awareness.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it comes with time, doesn't it, as well?
It comes with time, comes with experience, the number of times you've been through that. And it's not just in training either. I found this exact same thing with my presenting work. Yeah. So I just get a bit nervous before an event, before I'm speaking, and I get a little bit nervous and almost a little bit panicky when I'm preparing for it as well. So a few days before, I think, God, I'm not prepared enough, it's going to go tits up, it's going to be horrendous. And I've got to the point now where I recognise that that's part of the process for me, and it focuses my attention.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's probably quite a big takeaway from this, you know, for anybody kind of watching and interested in this, that it's something that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be reframed totally as being that's a sign that you're on the right track. It's okay that you walk up to the other side of it.
My boxing coach used to always say, so I'm so nervous for a fight. The coach used to always say that nerves are the best thing, you know, to get your mind focused. Yeah. It gets you in the right place. If you're not nervous, you should worry.
Well, it gives you an edge, right? And I think one of the challenges when you're doing something, you're in the middle of it, like the burpees or going for a run or anything like that, is that you've started and that initial adrenaline has started to wear off.
That's it.
And then you start, as you said, talking yourself out of it. So to be able to step back and recognise that that's what's happening is it's a skill, and as you said, it kind of comes with time and experience. But the more you can draw on evidence, you know, if this has happened to you before, if you can draw on other evidence where you've done this, then that's an incredible kind of inner motivation to just keep on going.
It happens in everyday life, doesn't it? You know, it happens all the time. You just got to recognise it. You know, I always find. Comes to anything, business, everything, doesn't it? You always wonder whether you're doing the right thing.
Second guessing and keep pushing. And I think this is what one of the things that I've certainly got so much out of over my years and training myself, my own sort of self-exploration, if you will, is that it translates very closely to other areas of life as well. Yeah. And you've obviously had similar experiences. And you mentioned about business there. We kind of teed this up by talking a little bit about the gym. And it wasn't a straightforward process. No. Thinking, I know what, I'll open a gym.
Yeah, open a gym.
And this is your own business.
That's what it was in the head.
Well, so this is like, here's where I want to get, here's where I am, here's where I want to get to, and it gets like this on the way there. But the determination and the sort of the mindset, that's something I'd like to dig around in a little bit as well, and some of the ways you know, the resilience that you showed to actually get to this point here where you just didn't give up, you didn't say no. So tell me kind of how the idea came about. What was it that made you decide that you wanted to open a gym in the first place?
Well, believe it or not, all I wanted was a little boxing gym.
So, well, there's a boxing ring right here behind the camera. I'll show you at the end of the session. So you got that, but
after many years of boxing, I decided to retire, getting too old for it, and so I wanted a boxing gym in Thame again. Started looking.
See, again, there was one previously, was there?
There was, no, tell you longer than that, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be at the old football club.
Before my time.
That's it, yeah. Proper Thame where I am.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that left when they sold the land for houses and the gym went over to Aylesbury, and the promise of another gym coming never came. Right. So Thame lost boxing, and I wanted to bring that back.
Okay.
Started looking at premises. Walked into this place, which was an empty warehouse, as you remember.
Yeah. I came in. It was just absolutely cavernous. I mean, it's big now, but when it was completely empty, you're thinking, my goodness, this is not just a little boxing gym.
I walked in. So it doesn't look that big from the outside, and walked out within 5 minutes, and hung on my partner and said, "That's massive. Far too big for me." And within a week, I put a plan together about what I was going to do, and pretty much designed it in my head how it is. We're actually going to have a squash court there at one point.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be a squash court in the studio. That's the only change.
Right. So this is pretty much the vision that you had.
Yeah.
I think that in itself is incredible to kind of to be able to visualize something like that and then to bring it to fruition. But it wasn't, as we said, it wasn't a straightforward process. So what was the next step, and what was the first sign you had that this wasn't going to be an easy ride?
Well, it's when we first approached the council, just to really get where their mind was with it. You know.
What was this place before?
It was a warehouse, a carpet warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was empty. It wasn't being used.
It was empty for 3 years. No real interest in it because it's so big. You know, companies didn't want to take it on. So I approached the council and they basically just laughed at me and sort of said, no, you're not having a gym on an industrial estate and that's it. You know, it's loss of employment, they kept telling me.
Right.
As you know, and I can see it. How could it be loss of employment? You know, we employ 15, 20 people here. The carpet warehouse used to employ 6, so just a distribution warehouse. But anyway, we ploughed forward with it, put it to planning meetings where you kindly spoke for us. We got turned down.
And it was really interesting actually. So yeah, just to kind of go back to that, Martin asked me to come and kind of say a few words at this planning meeting.
Yeah.
It's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, wasn't it, that we had, just to kind of state the case. It wasn't just for the gym, it was this specific place. It was for, because you do a lot of stuff for kids here as well,
Exactly,
the whole family fitness vibe going on, and it was all about kind of, with the boxing in particular, kind of getting an area to channel kind of youths and kids and kind of giving that, there was a real kind of social push with it as well, a real mission.
That was our main target really, is to have it as a family gym.
Yeah.
You know, even now we have kids running around.
Yeah. No, it's
not in the weighted area. But people come and train, they bring their kids with them, kids playing the creds, they play the trampoline outside. Yeah. You know, we do family fitness classes, so
it was interesting with that vision, which I'd clearly expressed, and you'd also expressed in this, and they'd had the plans, they knew what was what, and they came up with the most ridiculous reasons why, the kind of the blocks for why this couldn't happen. You had a little bit of support on the council plans, but most of them had said, no, we need, what Thame needs is a climbing wall. And there was a big thing about car parking spaces, which was kind of valid, but you had ways around that. But it was a real interesting experience for me, kind of being in that. I've never been to a planning meeting before. I don't know if you have, but it's a kind of a fascinating way that things roll. And you think someone's making the decision in about 20 minutes that affects, if you'd stopped at that point when they said, no, sorry, ain't going to happen, this place wouldn't be here.
No, I think it was a big loss for Thame, to be fair.
But we walked out of that probably about 12 months ago, kind of disappointed, and I didn't know where the next step was. You obviously didn't take that line down and think, well, that's it. You didn't give up on the dream. So what happened next?
We had another 2 planning meetings at Thame, because you have to go to your local council 3 times before you take it to appeal, and they turned it down for a different reason every time.
Right.
Which infuriated me quite a lot. Cost me a lot of money. In the end, we went to district council in Oxford, and they put it through unanimous. Not one person against it.
So that's an interesting thing. And this video and interview isn't about sort of saying, this planning system's all rubbish. But it's kind of interesting that there was so much pushback, and then kind of bigger picture was like, okay, we'll put this through. But to know that you had that long road ahead, that how much work and effort goes into putting a planning application together, to have it turned down, knowing that it's probably going to get turned down again and then again, and that whole process. I mean, you opened in July. This was back in probably December, November
so we
last year, wasn't it? When we did that. Okay. So back
working there for Christmas, weren't we?
That was the original plan. Absolutely, Get the January motivation to kind of join gyms. So you missed all that, but again, not letting it step back. So what were some of the, I'm interested in what you told yourself, what you kind of lent on to help you keep moving forwards with that.
You just got to believe, haven't you, really? I'm quite a strong person, whereas, I don't like being beaten anything. We're a gym challenge. Those burpees. So I got sort of grip through the teeth a little bit with the council, and I was like, no, actually, I am doing the right thing. He's going to be good for Thame. So that sort of fired me on quite a bit. Having a boxing gym here is awesome. We had sort of 18 under 16s yesterday. We even do under 9s boxing. We had 12 of those. So it's obviously cool for it.
So you really kind of hung on to this belief that this is something that was needed and wanted.
I was training in local gyms. And they were good, but they weren't this place. They weren't keeping up with what fitness is now. It's changing all the time, isn't it? So yeah, so I just kept on believing that what we was doing was right.
Did you have moments where you thought, oh, sod this?
Of course, yeah, all the time.
And how did you kind of get yourself out of those real sort of negative thinking tracks?
Just check the bank balance about how much you spent on it.
Yeah, so and the amount of sunk costs. Like if I quit now, then all that money's completely wasted.
Yeah.
It's going to keep going.
Yeah, to a point, yeah. But yeah, you just gotta keep believing, haven't you? And that's it really. You know, if you take things lying down, you'll never get anywhere, will you?
Yeah, I think there's obviously there's something in that, because you've gone from like being pushed back to turning it into reality. But I think there's something huge about going back to what we talked about with the burpee challenge and the things that we say to ourselves, and everyone I'm sure can relate to this as well. You have these thought tracks running through your mind, and they're not always going to be positive, and that's okay, right? It's to acknowledge that that's fine. That's a part of being human. Yeah. You're going to have these ups and downs. You're going to, different times of the day, you're going to be more robust than other times of the day, and to know that with belief, which is clearly what you had there, and a little experience as well, which you can draw on. I mean, this is the first time you've opened a massive gym in Thame, right?
Yeah,
you've never done this before.
Yeah.
But you were able to draw on other things that you have done.
Exactly,
I'm quite sure, and I'm sure you'd agree, that your boxing experience, your own personal training, the things that you've done, pushing yourself over the years, your other business, because you have another successful business as well, all that has given you that fire and that belief that actually, you know what, if I just keep on pushing, I can get this through.
Yeah, you just got to keep working on it, keep trying things.
Keep doing things.
We got there.
When we got there in the end, and it is a great place to train. So let's just have a quick scan around. This is looking back over the gym. Quite quiet at the moment. It's Tuesday morning, but then we come around here. We've got this full-size boxing ring as well, which is pretty cool. Kind of classes. I mean, it's just a huge facility, but it's just been done really well. So you've got your cardio kit over there. Nice big studio in there as well. And I haven't done it yet, but you do aerial yoga here.
That's it,
right?
yeah.
Have you had a go at it?
Yeah, of course I have. Of course I have. I was here at the weekend actually, my youngest.
All right, okay.
We're doing a family fitness, and afterwards he said, "Oh, can we get the aerial yoga ribbons up?"
Right, okay.
Yeah, she's 8.
Are you good at it?
Well,
Was she better than you?
oh, come on. Yeah, considerably better than me. Yeah.
She'll be in there every day training for it now.
Yeah, well, she's swinging like that upside down at 8 years old. Yeah, I wasn't trying that.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, there's classes here that you run that I've never really had an opportunity to do. Like you've got bar, which is something else that I'm kind of really interested in having a go at as well. So you got yoga classes, and you got some other you've got some great trainers here.
We wanted to just create something different.
Yeah.
You know, fitness is always changing. As you know, it changes all the time. So from distance stuff to hit workouts and things like that. So the classes we do are generally all different. You haven't got your Les Mills stuff here, which is what we wanted from the very start. So yeah, it's worked out well. It's been exciting.
Good. And visions for going into 2020? I mean, you started in July, which is possibly the worst time to open a gym, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's on holiday. But you still managed to kind of get you're very close to your original target. And kind of going into the new year, what's your sort of vision for what this is, how it's going to evolve over 2020?
Aim's always been 1,000 members. We're at 760 now.
Wow.
So, which is very impressive. We keep tweaking the classes. Keep tweaking the experience really here. Cafe opens next month.
Okay.
So that'll be good. Good for the family feel again. You can have a coffee.
Yeah, and I remember that was always part of the vision as well, was to have that breakout area to sort of unwind and chill out, and after a workout, or just come down to experience that. Yeah,
and it's really just evolving the classes really, and doing things like that. Boxing gym's affiliated now, so we get people out actually boxing now, proper amateur stuff, which is great. So that's a big thing for February.
Yeah, and actually the interesting thing with the boxing as well, I mean, it's obviously a big part of it because you've got the full-size ring, you've got a bunch of punch bags here, you do boxing-based classes as well, but it doesn't feel like it takes over the gym.
No.
You've got some real Gucci kit here, some really good stuff I'd never seen, like different grips for the pull-ups and stuff over the way there. And it's great. It's like I'm like a kid in a toy shop coming in, just playing with the equipment. There's your assault bike right there. I've been having some fun with that recently as well. horrible piece of equipment. But
Great kit, come on. Mindset.
I know, like, that was horrible. I will beat this, I will beat it. But so you can sort of do all that without feeling like you're in a boxing gym, but you can equally come down and feel like, well, this is properly kitted up to train, and as you said, it's affiliated now, so people can actually, if that's what they want to do, they can come through here and they can start actually getting into proper boxing.
That's it, yeah, that's what we want. Get some champions.
Get some Thame champions, boxing.
There used to be lots.
Well, mate, look, really, really appreciate your time, and fantastic facilities. Well done again with everything, and I'm looking forward to the next. Well, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm sure there will be a new challenge at some point.
Let us know what you want. Let us know what you want.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you've got any other questions for Martin. If you're local to Thame, by the way, make sure you come on down and check it out. Catch you later.
Cheers.